Here's your City Council recap for Thursday, July 22nd. This week, the City Council voted to keep a water emergency in place due to the drought-like conditions which are impacting much of the state. Starting next week, signs like this will go up around the community, informing residents about the emergency water ban. Watering is prohibited every day between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. until further notice. This is in addition to the normal odd-even watering ban. The water emergency is necessary to maintain water for everyday uses, along with having enough capacity to fight fires. A big donation this week for the Coon Rapids Police Department. Longtime retired K-9 handler Mark McDonough is donating a Belgian Malinois to the police department. A recent promotion of one of two K-9 handlers requires a new K-9 team. Officer Bill Johnson will begin training with the new dog in August. Two ordinances that were introduced at the last meeting were officially approved this week. The first allows a medical cannabis dispensary as a permitted use in a community commercial district in the city. Leafline Labs is looking to open in the small strip center in front of Lowe's. The other ordinance bans targeted residential picketing in Coon Rapids. It specifically prohibits marching, standing, or patrolling aimed at a specific home in a manner that affects safety, security, and privacy of the occupants, or prevents the homeowners from entering and exiting their property. And that's your City Council recap for Thursday, July 22nd. Of course, you can find the full agendas and information on each item on the city's website, coonrapidsmn.gov. The meetings are also live on cable and streamed on the CTN YouTube channel. Some of the best golfers in the world are in Blaine this week for the annual 3M Open. But before championship play started, players and fans got a lesson in science. CTN's Steve Antis has more.
We're super happy to be back after COVID.
Great golf's never better than when fans are near. And while you're out at the 3M Open, you can stop by the Fan Village for a number of things to see and do, including the 3M Science Hub.
What we have here on display is a series of products that people will find in their everyday life, or some things that they didn't even know we do.
3M's Corporate Affairs Denise Rutherford showed off some of the tech being used with 3M partners. Actor Josh Duhamel struck a pose with some top golfers virtually through the magic mirror.
It's actually the same technology we use for making respirators.
The 17th and 18th holes at the TPC were recreated in miniature, mini golf made from 3M sponges.
Our relationship with that hospital is very well known.
3M Open Ambassador Kyle Rudolph helped unveil the art display on site called Wrapped in Happiness. It showcases the University of Minnesota Masonic Children's Hospital with nearly 100 pieces of children's artwork.
We spent some time here yesterday walking around, and there's unbelievable stories, and the personalities and the stories of these patients shine through in their artwork.
3M Science was used to wrap the artwork.
So we have to use science to think about how dimensionally is this film going to stretch or to shrink as it goes around that golf ball. And that's the film that we've got on these golf balls here, so the images look just like the kids designed them, even though it's now in a 3-dimension around a golf ball.
This year, 3M will donate $1.5 million to a number of charities in the Twin Cities, which is truly golf that matters. From Blaine, I'm Steve Antis reporting for Community Update.
The 3M Science Hub is the tournament's newest feature and located near the 18th hole. Now the attention turns to the game of golf. Championship play starts Thursday and continues through Sunday at the TPC. Kids 15 and under are admitted free, courtesy of Cub Foods. For tickets or more information, log on to 3mopen.com. Both the Golf Channel and CBS will have coverage this weekend. The Coon Rapids Farmers Market is back in the parking lot of the Coon Rapids Ice Center. You'll find fresh vegetables, berries, flowers, honeys, jams, breads, and more. New this year, 2 staff members from River Trail Learning Center opened their own booth. They are selling salsas, jams, breads, cake pops, and some organic vegetables that they grow in their backyard. 10% of the proceeds will benefit students at the school.
We're both avid gardeners and we love our community, and we just wanted to be a part of integrating into our community and doing something that we love over the summer while we're not in school.
Kotke's Bus Company also has a booth. They are in need of bus drivers as the new school year quickly approaches. The Coon Rapids Farmers Market is open every Wednesday from 3 to 6 p.m. through October 13th. It's located in the parking lot of the Coon Rapids Ice Center and is sponsored by the Anoka County Growers Association. After a year off due to the pandemic, the Target USA Cup soccer tournament is back at the National Sports Center in Blaine. The fun started July 9th and continues through July 17th. Coming off the pandemic, only teams from the U.S. are participating in this year's tournament.
It's great. It's definitely different. We don't have international teams, so it's a little bit different of an audience, of teams, a little different energy, but we're just happy to be here, happy to be playing soccer.
So far it's been a great tournament, great team bonding experience, a chance to play some teams we don't normally play in league play and other tournaments, so it's been really fun for the girls.
In all, 800 teams from 17 different states are in Blaine for the tournament, which wraps up on Saturday, July 17th. For more information, log on to usacup.org.
We're going to shut the house side water valve off, and then we're going to start replacing the water meter.
The City of Coon Rapids is replacing water meters because the units are at the end of their warranty cycles, and they have new technology.
We're replacing about just short of 3,000 meters this year.
Going to change out this meter for this resident on our new meter upgrade program.
The meter replacement project will focus on residential homes. Originally, the water meters were slated for a 20-year replacement program, but many of them installed in homes around 2010 have failed earlier than expected.
The battery life was slated for 20 years. Well, we're getting at about 16, 17 years right now. We're seeing that failure rate, and that's why we kind of thought we're going to bite this off and get it taken care of sooner than later.
These are our new neoprene washers we're installing. We always put new washers in.
The new meter has an analog interface with moving components, which makes the display much easier to read.
If there's a leak in the property, if there's something that is continuous leaking past 30 days, if there's a high usage, there's different key signals that come across from that meter that give us warning that the resident really doesn't have any knowledge of, but they do when we reach out to them.
Ferguson Waterworks out of Blaine will help the city change out the majority of the nearly 3,000 water meters this year. And over the course of the next 4 years, the Utilities Department plans to change out about 15,000 water meters in residential homes.
At just a quick glance, you can see if you have water moving through your meter in your house.
If your home is due for a water meter change-out, you'll receive a letter from the city. I'm Steve Antis reporting for Community Update. Inside the Civic Center, the seniors are off their rockers and rolling again at the Coon Rapids Senior Center.
We're going to pulse back.
This week, the Live to Be Healthy fitness class started up again for the first time since March of 2020.
I have been walking throughout whenever I can, but, weather permitting. But this is what I really need. And release.
Ralph Joe Wheely was a familiar face in the senior center before the pandemic hit. He's happy to be back.
To see these people, it was really a great treat to get back and see everybody after about a year and a half. And it gets you up in the morning, gets you moving.
We are excited to have seniors back to our facility.
Senior Services Program Specialist Chris Niebler remains cautiously optimistic about opening up activities where seniors are less than 6 feet apart from each other.
We want to be sure that people use hand sanitizers, wash their hands. If they have any symptoms of any illness, don't come in.
Friends Mary, Bonnie, and Mary took advantage of working on their scrapbook projects in the Arts and Crafts room. In the afternoon, the games begin. 35 people showed up to play 500.
It's great to see the people that we've been playing with for years, too. And it's fun to play cards.
And if you're feeling lucky, there's always Bunko on Wednesdays.
21!
Some activities, like bus trips for seniors, are still months away. Yet to mark this milestone, the Senior Center will host a welcome back backyard party on the patio on Tuesday, July 13th, to celebrate the reopening.
We have live entertainment, we have yummy strawberry angel food cake with whipped cream, and we're hoping people will join us for that.
I'm Steve Antis reporting for Community Update.
It's a 3-lane section heading up to Hanson. From that point, we'd like to carry that 3-lane section another 2 miles up to Round Lake Boulevard.
City, county, and state officials gathered late Tuesday afternoon to show off what's become a bottleneck for traffic in the North Metro. This stretch of Highway 10 carries 90,000 vehicles a day. The proposed solution to the congestion? Adding a 3rd lane to Highway 10 in both directions, from Hanson Boulevard to Round Lake Boulevard. But funding has been a roadblock, at least up until now.
We're proud in my office to have submitted a community funding project request for $25 million. We're going to push as hard as we can to try and get that investment here, because this is where it's needed.
Representative Tom Emmer of the 6th Congressional District is trying to get the funding included in the federal budget. If approved, construction could begin in 2024.
It's low-hanging fruit. Most of the work is done. Let's just get these last couple lanes in here, get these people moving. Let's get her done.
Because it's not about Democrats and Republicans. This is about Minnesotans, their safety, moving people and product the most efficient, safe way possible. It's something that we can all celebrate without having to be on one side of it or the other.
The Anoka School Board voted this week to go to voters this fall with 3 levy questions. The first 2 would renew levies that are set to expire. The third question would raise new money to address growing mental health concerns.
We will move on to our levy discussion and decisions.
The school board took up the levy discussion at its regularly scheduled meeting on Monday night. It's something they've been discussing for the past year. Question 1 would renew the $34.5 million operating levy last renewed by voters in 2012. Funding is used to maintain programs and services, along with keeping class sizes down. As an existing levy, there would be no tax increase. Question 2 renews a $4.5 million capital levy for technology, first approved by voters back in 2011. Again, as it's an existing levy, there would be no tax increase. Question 3 would involve a tax increase of about $10 a month for 10 years for a $250,000 home. The operating levy would be used to extend mental health and social emotional support for students, including academic support for underachieving students.
You know, question 1 for me, if it weren't passed, that's a dismantling of our school district. That would be brutal. And like Board Member Simon said, it's not about scaring the public. It's not about anything other than look at the reality. Take 10% of your family's operating income and make it go away and try to make it through a couple months. Not going to happen.
To me, this is about giving people a choice, and so I will support all 3 going forward. I have heard over and over and over again that we need to give support to students for social emotional learning and to help them bridge this gap that we've had in this past year. And $10 a month is a great start at a way to do that that is desperately needed.
District 11 residents will cast their votes on the 3 questions on Tuesday, November 2nd. A recent survey conducted on behalf of the school district showed more than 80% support for renewing the current levies and more than 60% support for question 3.